According to a recent report by the Coalition for the Homeless, an organization dedicated to helping homeless men, women, and children, there are now more homeless children and adults in New York City than at any other time since the Great Depression. Many of those homeless kids and adults are sent to Fort Greene's Auburn Family Reception Center. It's one of 4 shelters in Brooklyn run by the Department of Homeless Services, the DHS. And from the outside, it looks like a pleasant place to stay while you get back on your feet. But for almost a decade, the shelter, one of the city's largest, has been plagued by accusations of unsafe and unclean conditions by New York City's Department of Buildings, as well as complaints by residents about the way the DHS police treat them. The Coalition for the Homeless also stated that in 2011, it received the most complaints from the residents of the Auburn shelter. We contacted DHS regarding these complaints and didn't receive a response. But according to the DHS Family Services Quarterly Shelter Performance Report, which ranks shelters throughout the city based on how quickly and efficiently they place residents in permanent housing, the Auburn Family Shelter went from the lowest performance tier in April 2012 to the 5th tier in July 2012 to the 4th tier in the most recent report. So improvements are being made, but there's still more work to be done. According to the Department of Buildings, the most common complaints are about the elevators being broken in this 10-story shelter. Since January of this year alone, there have been 4 complaints, all concerning both of the building's elevators being broken. And for the residents, many of whom have children, this can make life difficult and unsafe.
I'm like, if I need the elevator, there's no one there to call the elevator. So I have 2 strollers. I have a double stroller and I have a single stroller. So sometimes I take the double stroller and carry down the stairs because there's no security guard on my floor for them to call the elevator for me, you know? And that's messed up.
Yeah, when I be telling them, the people in front be telling them, call the elevator, they be like, oh, the elevator shut down. Be like, no, because I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant because I need the shelter. I need the elevator. She be like, oh, well, you gotta wait. And I had to take this step.
Residents also frequently complain about the treatment they receive from the DHS police hired to provide security for the building. Many residents claim that the DHS police act unprofessionally on the job, do little to keep the shelter safe, and create an environment where residents are afraid to make complaints.
They do whatever they want, they bring stuff in they're not supposed to.
And like the workers here, they treat us like crap, especially the guards at the front.
They bring in like liquor. There's no liquor allowed.
Saturday night, it's just a free-for-all for them. They're allowed to just hang out and, be loud in the hallway and chill like they're in a little group, and it's like, that's not right.
Weed. And from the past years, I've heard they had sexual intercourses with people who live here.
Because if you complain, then they're going to make your life hell.
The downstairs supervisor, she wears a white shirt. She's nice. If I complain to her, but nothing gets done afterwards.
Then they're going to start bothering you, knocking on your doors, doing room inspections even when you're not there, because they're allowed to come in our room even if we're not there. And, it's just better to keep the peace.
I complain to her, oh, we don't look into it, and that's that.
According to the Coalition for the Homeless, perhaps the single biggest contributor to the city's homelessness is that the city now provides no housing assistance to help homeless families move from shelters to permanent housing. And the average shelter stay for homeless families with children is now over 1 year. Residents of the Auburn shelter echoed this complaint.
But I think the social workers should be more involved with us and try to at least help us or, give us a hand, but they let us do it on our own. That's why people here been living for 4 years, because they're not pushing them to get out. You get me? A shelter's not supposed to be somewhere you should live. They should help us get on our feet, but they don't do that.
With conditions like these, many residents feel as if they are being mistreated simply because of the situation they're in. And after seeing the same problems year after year, many ultimately remain pessimistic about things changing for the better.
It's not right. And I'm going to school for social services, and I would never treat people the way that they treat us here. I'm flabbergasted at the way they treat us. It's not right.
For the Nabe, this is Ashuka Jigru.